And we wanted to show that in order to thrive, we need that independence. We need that, sense of self.
Honestly, Ben, Matt, thank you for the time. It is a genuine privilege to be speaking with you. This is, I mean, For All Mankind is the sci-fi show on TV. Thank you for so much. Thank you so much for the time to chat about it.
Happy to
Good to be
talk with
here.
you.
Well, I mean, we're back. Here we are. It's wonderful to have everybody back, and again, 10 years later, or so. What in your mind is the biggest change in the world of the series since we last saw these characters?
I think the biggest change is that in season four, Mars was a place where people went to work. And now in season five, Mars is a place where people go to live, that they think of as their home, that they bring their families to live with them because of scientific advancements. Radiation shielding has made it safe for people to live there more long term. And so, really, that is a huge change in the mentality of the people on this other planet is like, this is my home now.
It is interesting to see them settled, if for lack of a better word, that this is home. Um, and like you said, this series has been is the sci-fi series on TV. Everybody absolutely loves this show. But what is it about For All Mankind that you think resonates with so many people?
I think one, the darker our real world gets, the more I think an escape to an alternate history seems like a nice a nice thing to view. But I think, the thing that makes our show, I think, different than a lot of sci-fi is one, I think we're a little more optimistic. It's not to say everything that happens is great, but I think overall it's a more optimistic take on alternate history and on the world. And two, I think that we pride ourselves on creating a science fiction that feels more like science fact. We try to get things right. We don't have like sound in space or lightsabers or stuff like that. We try to do a show where the science is grounded, the world feels real, and the feeling of being on Mars is what it would feel like if you literally lived on Mars, what your life would be like. That's something I think we pride ourselves with in terms of the storytelling on this show.
It's interesting that you say that about a place to escape because with the series, it feels like we're watching some of our own issues play out in this alternate future. It's like we can't escape our own problems. I
Yeah.
can't get out of our own way, if you will.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
it,
absolutely. Yeah, it's just, human beings, we're gonna keep on being human beings no matter where we are, for good and for bad. And we have the capacity for both, an amazing capacity for both. And I think that's the tension of, honestly, the whole space program is a tension between the best aspects of our nature and the most negative, because a lot of the things that drove us to go out there were like, oh, we don't want the other guy to beat us, but and so that sense of division it has evolved in the show. In the beginning it was the US versus the Soviet Union, and now the division is a little bit more Earth versus Mars in that distrust and that level of competition.
well, it's interesting because in this series, in this season, again, not giving any spoilers here, but we see the tension starting to build between Earth and Mars, especially over resources. And I was wondering, there seems to be a push for what in the characters fighting for their humanity. And I wondered in your mind, and I know we're running out of time, so just before we wrap, what is the difference between surviving and thriving for these characters?
I think that's a central question of this season, actually, that for a home to thrive out here, they feel like they need self-determination. They need to be a country. I think, we looked at the American Revolution actually as a concept a lot here in terms of, if we were being controlled by someone from so far away, how much are we able to speak up for ourselves? How much are we able to be our own people? So I think that's a theme very much that we embrace this season. And we wanted to show that in order to thrive, we need that independence. We need that, sense of self. So I think that's something you see early on in the season and something that builds as the season goes.
Well, honestly, I know that I've been excited to return to the world, and I know countless others are as well. Thank you so much for the time to chat with me about it. I really am excited for where we're going.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks. It was a
Thanks so
pleasure.
much.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.
You